Hello and welcome to Chicanime. My name is Lauren and today I am looking at another AniNews supplemental video for Overlord. I am trying to get done a whole bunch of these sort of video extras before the movie comes out, just because I would like to go into that movie knowing a lot more than I currently know, and also to try to get into season 5 with just a deeper understanding of the world that we have found ourselves in. So people seem to be enjoying these videos also, so I'm really glad of that. I'm hoping you're learning along with me. And I don't really want to waste too much more time, but before I get into today's video, I do want to thank a couple of our patrons, because again, we would not be here without you at all. Or at least I wouldn't be able to put out nearly as much because I would have to get a third job and do that. And so thank you so much for helping me not have to do that again. Again, I'm really excited for this. So I want to thank those patrons. Get into the thanking of the patrons, I promise, and then I'll shut up for a moment. So thank you to, let's see here. I don't know how to say this. MMM230403. Thank you so much for being a patron. Thanks to Emily. Thank you to Thrilled Access 709. And thank you to Captain Bohica. So there's a bunch of patrons. We appreciate y'all very much. And I don't want to wait any more time. So as I pull up this video, I'll just say if you can't be a patron, it also helps us out. If you just like and subscribe, comment to the video, all of that really does help a lot. So don't forget to do that as well. And now let's learn about Yggdrasil.
Did I say bi-weekly Overlord videos? I meant tri-weekly. No, wait, that doesn't make sense. Nah, in all seriousness, I'm really sorry about the delay. Work's been a bit of a hassle. But welcome back anyway to the third installment of my Overlord Explained series. Today we're going to be looking at the world of Yggdrasil, the dive massively multiplayer online role-playing game that Suzuki Satoru, aka Momonga, aka Ainz Ulugaon, was in the moment he was transported to the New World. Now, don't get the New World and Yggdrasil confused with each other, because they aren't one and the same. The world that Ainz was transported to, which is now referred to as the New World, although bearing many connections and similarities to Yggdrasil, it's not the world from the game. So in case you thought that Ainz was just transported to the actual game world, just like how I did for much longer than
I did for a really long time too, but then I started realizing that, oh no, if he had been transferred to the actual game world, he would know a lot more about it, and also he wouldn't be so OP.
I'm willing to admit, it's best to think of them.
Well, he might still be very OP.
Back to the topic of the video. What makes up the world of Yggdrasil? From characters and classes to mechanics and magic, I'm going to go through the components of the game that made Yggdrasil, well, you know, Yggdrasil. There is quite a lot of information to cover, so I am going to split this video up into two parts. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a DMMORPG? Obviously, a dive-type game isn't something that exists in the real world. Yet, the dive aspect consists of a connection from the console to the brain through a neural nano interface. Consider this the gear that allows the players to enter the game and experience this virtual world as real life, with the exception of smell and taste. Not to mention that the sense of touch was also highly limited in order to allow players to distinguish themselves from the real world. In addition to the limitations to the senses, any DMMORPG also had to abide by strict rules that forbid adult-rated actions, such as the inappropriate touching of other players. It was for this reason that players were kept under close watch, so that in the case that these actions did occur, the accused player's account could be deleted immediately. It was actually these restrictions that had allowed Ainz to distinguish Yggdrasil from the New World. By fondling Albedo, recounting his senses, and taking into account that it was highly illegal to make a player unable to log out of the game, he was able to quickly determine that he was not playing Yggdrasil.
That's really cool. I didn't realize that those were the things that made it obvious to him. That does make sense though. Okay. All right. So I knew that he okay. Makes sense. All right,
the game
continuing.
itself, however, was created in the year 2126 as an open-world exploration game where knowledge was key. Nothing other than the controls were made known to the player. This had put a very high value towards new information regarding the game. New classes, items, and locations were always found, but almost never intentionally shared publicly so as to not give other players the advantage. To put into perspective how massive this game actually was, in the game's 12-year lifespan, only 30% of the game's 9 worlds were mapped. And if you're familiar
Wow.
with Norse mythology, then you know exactly what nine worlds
Somewhat.
I'm referring to. Yggdrasil
Yes.
is named after the world tree that acts as the center of the universe to bridge the nine realms of Norse mythology.
So I wonder where he was at. I wonder where. Oh, I wonder. Was he from Nidavellir? I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out where he might have, where Nazarick, which world it might have been on then. Niflheim. Niflheim makes sense. I think isn't it sometimes called Helheim? Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he'll tell me.
Mythology together. Unlike the new God of War, which only showcases the nine realms, in Yggdrasil, you can actually travel to each and any of them, from Asgard and Midgard all the way to Alfheim and Helheim. Each of them were said to be approximately 3 times the size of Tokyo, which, if we do some quick maths, that's about 6,600 square kilometers, which is about the
Wow.
size of Delaware or Prince Edward Island. It's just really big. So you could see how it would be
Wow.
difficult for all these players to fully discover every nook and cranny that's in a game that has the combined size of Ireland.
Especially in only 12 years. Like, that's a lot.
Not to mention that the more you travel from the center of the world, the harder the areas become to traverse. Higher level monsters and enemies become more prominent, landscapes require specific equipment to travel across, and you wouldn't even try to enter a dungeon unless you were fully prepared with a solid strategy, but also ready to die, because odds are, you weren't completing that on your first attempt. Not
Okay,
only
makes
were
sense.
the worlds massive though, the designs of them were also very intricate, with each being vastly different from the other, while still staying true to their roots in Norse mythology. Unlike No Man's Sky, where diversity was pretty much non-existent, there were multiple layers that added to the experience. It wasn't just a simple what you see is what you get type deal. There were areas that would only reveal themselves under certain weather conditions or times of day. The number of
that's
secrets
cool.
that could be hidden within any given area could have been endless. That's why when someone or some guild would come across one of those secrets by chance, they couldn't just very well give out that information for free. Who knows what hidden loot they would be able to find to make their characters and equipment stronger.
That is
Now,
really
before I
cool.
wander off into a whole nother conversation about high tier loot and where to find them, I think I should get into the mechanics that make up the player characters first. When starting Yggdrasil, you get to only make one character, so you'd have only one chance to put together the right combination of race and classes to get the skills that you like. Creating
I do
the
like that
ideal
outfit on
build
her.
was no easy task. It required a lot of testing. People would try to min-max, which is the concept of leveling only the aspects of your character you wanted to specialize in, and lowering all others. This resulted in characters being distinguished either as those with balanced ability distribution, or as those with heavy specialization. Each had their own perks and downsides. But whether you were a specialized character, or a player that just wanted to have a level in 100 different classes, it all came down to what race and class you decided to level up. As I'm sure you already know, the max level one can reach in the game is 100, and for each level that you gain, you can distribute it into either a racial class or a job class. Leveling was done by either killing monsters or other players, which in turn would give experience points that added to a total which made up your level. Typical RPG stuff. You can
Yes.
also lose levels
All of
by
that
dying,
very
but
normal.
we'll get more into that mechanic later. What's important to know right now are how the races and job classes work. So let's start with the less complicated racial classes, consisting of 3 main types that then diverge into over 700 subclasses.
Oh my god, okay.
Humanoid, which of course consists of humans, then other human-like races such as dwarves and elves. This race was unique because racial levels weren't applied to them, allowing for all 100 level points to be distributed into the job classes. This made it easier
Okay.
to learn more powerful skills, giving the humanoids a lot of potential to become very strong. The demi-human race consists of ogres, minotaurs, beastmen, and many other mythical creatures typically found in fantasy settings. Unlike the humanoids, they can level up their racial classes and gain racial skills from it. Then there's the heteromorphic race, which is the category that all the members of Ainz's guild fell into. These players can be anything from angels and demons to dragons and zombies.
So, okay, if just knowing this stuff, you can get a strong human character, right? But, like, it would be so difficult to make them anywhere near as strong as the heteromorphs or even the demi-humans, wouldn't it? Like, what are the... what would be... just the challenge, maybe? Because I know some people would be just like, I just want to do a fighter, and it would be fun because it's a dude. You know? I don't know. Like, there's a reason in my D&D game I chose not to be a human character. I was like, I went for half-elf because I wanted the dark vision, you know, and like a couple of other, there's like some there are certain perks to choosing the race of half-elf in Dungeons and Dragons. That I mean, I feel like humans don't really have too many perks in that game. So it's like, I don't think I would ever choose to be a human there. I don't know. Again, would it be the challenge? Because I did choose not to use magic, right? Like, I did choose to be a fully mundane character. But like, there's a lot of other stuff you can do. I don't know. Okay, if there's good reasons, maybe he'll tell me. And if he doesn't tell me, you guys can tell me.
They have the most powerful base stats and gain the most from their racial level in exchange for limiting the number of levels that they can put into their job classes. Now,
Okay.
I know what you're thinking.
So
As
that's
cool
the
as it
one
would be
downside.
To walk around as a brain eater that looks like the incarnation of Cthulhu, you may be surprised to know that the heteromorphic race was the least popular of the three. One of the reasons attributing to this is that there would be no player kill penalty towards the heteromorphic race. So any human or demi-human could kill a heteromorph anywhere and not be punished for it. Whereas
Okay.
PKing a human would incur that penalty.
Okay, there's an explanation. Okay, see? I appreciate the
Were
explanation.
also excluded from certain classes and cities.
Just don't
within the
die.
game. So does that classify as racism? I'm pretty sure it does, right? The game really did make it hard for heteromorphs to get by, especially when they make skills that can only be gained through mass murdering a bunch of heteromorphs. I mean, I get that they're only one
Okay.
step away from being monsters, but god damn, I don't think the devs had to make it so that the entire non-heteromorphic population of the game would actually treat them as monsters. I guess they were going for that hyper-realism. Now let's move on to what's considered to be the most fundamental
Okay,
element
that is
of
interesting.
Yggdrasil
That's helpful.
customization. It was possible for every character in the game to have a unique build because of the infinite possibilities that came from having over 2,000 unique job classes. What's rolling across the screen right now is just a select few examples, but you could essentially pick and choose from these in any combination as long as you put a level into it. Meaning,
Oh,
as
wow.
I said, it's technically possible to have a character that has 100 level 1 classes, but that would also affect the tier level of magic that you are capable of using, which I'll get to in the next video. It was often better to go for an optimized build of 5 to 7 classes consisting of base, high, and rare types. The base type was allowed a maximum of 15 levels to be placed into it, high allowed 10, and rare allowed 5. Every time that a class was leveled up, 3 spells would become available to choose from an
Okay.
extensive list relating to that class. That allowed for a combined total of 300 spells at a player's disposal once they
Wow.
reached the max level of 100.
That's
Classes could
a
be
lot of
anything from
spells.
combat-focused holy knights and paladins to more magic-focused clerics and druids. You could even be a chef or an insect master. There also exists special hidden classes that are unique to specific builds like Ainz's Eclipse. It's really all dependent on how your base build is set up and how you want your character to function in the game. Then, as you level up your desired races and job classes, you'd be able to learn more spells that grant new moves and earn skill points that increase stats. The number of skill points earned to boost a player's stats are dependent on your race. Humanoids would
Okay.
only earn 1, demi-humans
Yeah,
earn
see?
2, and heteromorphs earn 3.
See, it just feels like demi-human's the way to go. Like, because like you earn a little bit more, you're not going to be like necessarily attacked by everybody because you're. I just feel like demi-human might be the way to go. I mean, I know that in this game they were like the elves and the dwarves count as like humanoid. So it's like they have the same sort of stats that a humanoid person would do. Because this game is not D&D. So that's what I'm just saying. I don't know. I still wouldn't choose a humanoid. And if in this particular game, I don't think I'd choose a humanoid character.
Giving them the highest stats and making their skills and abilities significantly stronger at full build compared to a human or a demi-human. So does this all make sense right now? Because I'm not entirely sure if I'm presenting this in a very digestible fashion. I really do hope this all makes sense, because the amount of detail
More or
that was
less.
put into crafting this game that isn't even the world that the story takes place in is astonishing. I haven't even
Yeah,
touched the guilds,
for real.
items, combat, tier magic, and a whole lot of other different things related to this game.
We'll
So
get
please,
there.
let me know if you're getting what I'm saying. But that's all I'm going to cover for now, so don't forget to let me know in the comments if I got anything wrong so that I can make corrections in future videos. Also, a huge thanks to the team in the Discord for helping me out with the research for this video. Especially Much Moonies, because he literally wrote out his own wiki for me. God bless this man's hard work. Of course, I can't forget the others either, so thanks to Archel, Atelier God, Queen Celeste, Gondo, and Akai Dragon. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So until next time, ciao.
Okay, cool. So I do like learning about like the background. So I know that this is, again, I'm aware that this is not the world that, uh, that they're in right now, but it is helpful to figure out where they came from and what they want to do. And also I'm just interested in like the world building in general. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you'll enjoy the next. We're going to keep going with some of these AniNews videos. But let me know if you want me to go like in order on the playlist, or if I should jump around, if there's like specific ones that you want me to look at. I will do that. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.